What everybody, it's your boy Goosebumps Jen here, back with another video, guys. I wasn't gonna post this weekend, but got to thinking about one of my favorite episodes and one of my favorite shows I ever I grew up on. Besides watching, Goosebumps and Are Afraid Dark, when I turned 9 years old, my grandfather introduced me to the Twilight Zone, which is a show from like his era. To this day, my favorite episode of the Twilight Zone is The Little Girl Lost. It's my favorite episode. Basically, what the story is, and it's I'm gonna give you the full breakdown story plot. In the middle of the night, parents Chris and something Miller, I forgot the other wife's name, hear their daughter whimpering. She's 4 or 5, I believe, or 4 years old or 3. I don't know, 4. And she's calling for her mommy, and she's supposed to be there, okay? Or she's whimpering in the middle of the night. She goes up, and the dad goes up to get to see what's wrong. And what happens is, when he goes into the room, she's not there. She's not in the bed. She's not under the bed. She's nowhere. But they can still hear her, and they're freaking out. They called it, and they're here. Then they start to hear them over the dog. Okay, the dog is barking outside. The dog's name is Mac, and the daughter's name is Tina. And the dog is barking outside because that's where the dog is staying at the moment. Their family dog, and they're hearing their daughter Tina from what seems to be the wall inside the house that separates, I guess, the wall in her room. Okay. That's right next to her bed. All of a sudden, so finally the dog won't stop barking. So Chris Miller, the father, goes to let the dog inside the house. The dog runs inside the house, runs inside the room, and in through under the bed and into the wall, and goes right through the wall. And now he can hear the dog barking, including Tina bark. And he doesn't know what's going on. So they call one of Chris's physicist friends, he's a physicist, okay, for help. And the dog then, they come in and they hears the dog barking and the Tina barking. So at first they move the bed and place books on the impressions where the stands were for the bed were. To show where they were, okay? When they realize it's not the floor itself, the physicist friend goes up and to the wall and puts his hand through, and his hand goes into the wall and out to the other side, and disappears. And what they're explaining is that what must have happened is the wall itself is a portal to the fourth dimension, which is where everything's like upside down. It's not really here, it's not really there, and it's different, okay? And your daughter might have fallen asleep at night, or fell into the portal while she was getting up, or fell off the bed and into the portal, or something like that. And Mac, being the dog, saying, why was Mac barking? These dogs are sensitive to these things, and they can tell. Is why. So, and the problem is we don't know what's in there exactly, and if we don't get her out soon, we don't know if she could age or something like that. So he yells to Mac, the dog, to go find Tina and bring her back to the portal. And he says and after an hour or so, nothing happens. The dog isn't being brought. They can still hear the dog, okay? And finally, Chris can't take anymore, and he goes inside the portal, but even though his business friend tells him not to, and he can hear Tina, and he says, "Tina, honey, find Mac. You find him?" And he's like, "Yes, Daddy, I can hear him." And then he says, "Grab onto Mac, honey, and don't let go." And then he's like, "Mac." He keeps whistling to Mac. "Mac, come here, boy." And what happens is, at one point, he's like, they keep asking him to whisper to him, he calling to him, it's gonna work, okay? And Mac finally, he sees Max coming in, and then he's saying, the physicist first and his wife are saying, Chris, hurry, Chris, hurry. And finally, he grabs them, he gets his daughter and Mac, and then he gets pulled back into our universe, what they would call it, our dimension. And Chris says, why were you saying hurry, what was wrong? At that time already, Tina had taken, his wife, Chris's wife takes Tina to another room with Mac walking beside her. And Mac's physicist friend said, or Chris's physicist friend, the reason why I said this is because even though you thought you were completely standing up in that universe, in there, you weren't. I actually had a hold on you the entire time. Actually, one half was here and one half wasn't. And if you would have stayed another second in there, if I hadn't pulled you back, and he tapped on the wall, and the portal is gone, you would have been half here, half, and then half, and then that's the end of the scene. And then it's Ron Sterling comes off half here and half where. You know, they never could figure out where that half was. And now, I mean, every physicist, electronic, with every scientist or researcher, with every electronic or otherwise known to man, equipment known to man or otherwise, or equipment known to man or other equipment or otherwise known to man, electronic equipment or otherwise known to man. The only thing they've gained was appreciation for the mysteriousness and the mechanics of the Twilight Zone. And that was the end of the episode. To this day, it is one of my favorite episodes. It's raw, it's emotional, because when you're a parent and your daughter is crying in the middle of the night, you want to know what's wrong, right? But what happens in the situation where it is, in this situation where they open them, what happens if you can hear your child, but you can't see them? You know they're crying, you know what, you want to comfort them, but you can't see them and comfort them. You don't know where they are, but you can hear them. This is my favorite episode of all the Twilight Zone. It isn't scary, it's just raw, it's real emotion, it's true. It's like one of the best episodes I've ever watched. This one, and there was another one where it was a guy, basically he's a shark, I believe, but he cheats in games and stuff. And one day, his son gets killed either in World War II, I believe, or it's World War II, or World War I, I'm not sure. He's a cheater in bar games and shit. And he basically begs God for one more day with his son. And God grants it with him, and he spends all these days when his son's in a kid form, I believe. So he goes to the carnival, they go to a ball game, I believe, and they do a bunch of things. And then when it's finally time for the kid to go and and join in heaven, the father doesn't want to let go, and finally says, "Please, it should be me, not him. It should be me. Please take me instead and let my son live and come back to life, And in the end of the film, it's his son as an adult, playing the same game that he and his dad were playing in the show, in the carnival, which was a shooting game where he wins the shot, or he beats the thing, and he says, "Kid, what'd you learn to shoot like that?" The guy, contender, the owner of the game, and he says, what's it called? He says, "My dad taught me how to shoot like that." And that was the end of the film. And he just smiles at the end of the episode. And he just smiles at the camera. And I think they do like a little snip. Ron Sterling says a snippet, and that was it. But I don't remember what his snippet for that one was. But that's my favorite, two favorite Twilight Zone episodes of all time. Little Girl Lost, and I forgot what the other one's called. But what that one's called, the one I just told you what it was called. Those are my favorite two Twilight Zone episodes. Like, comment, subscribe, guys. Share my videos on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video, guys.